Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. We're going to dive into a really important and often debated topic immigration and its impact on wages. This presentation is titled Immigration and its Impact on Wages Separating Myths from Evidence, where we'll take a comprehensive look at the economic effects, public perceptions, and the policy implications surrounding this issue. I'm excited to explore the facts behind the headlines with you. Let's get started. Immigration and wages are topics that come up in public conversations all the time, and these discussions can be quite divided. On one side, some people are concerned that immigration lowers the earning potential for native workers, worrying that jobs and wages might be negatively affected. On the other hand, there are those who emphasize the economic benefits that immigration can bring, such as filling labor shortages and stimulating growth. To make sense of these conflicting views, it's essential to carefully examine the evidence so we can move beyond myths and make well-informed decisions when it comes to policy. When we look at common perceptions about how immigration impacts wages, one of the main ideas you often hear is that immigration poses a threat to the wages of native-born workers. This concern is widely shared and has become a central point in discussions about immigration. Much of this perception is shaped by media coverage and political narratives that highlight stories of competition for jobs. These narratives tend to focus on the idea that immigrants might displace current employees or push wages down by increasing the labor supply. As a result, many people develop a worry that their own earnings could be negatively affected. Understanding these perceptions is key to unpacking the broader debate around immigration and its economic effects. When we look at the research on immigration and wages, the results are quite mixed. Some studies find that immigration barely affects wages, while others point to small changes, particularly in the short term. It's really important to understand that these effects can differ depending on whether we're examining the immediate impact or the longer-term adjustments in the economy. The context matters a lot too. Economic conditions and other factors can shape the outcomes we see. Generally, the evidence suggests that any wage changes tend to be slight and short-lived, with negligible effects over the long run. This distinction between short-term and long-term impacts is crucial for interpreting these findings correctly. When we look at immigration, one key effect is that it increases the overall labor supply. More people entering the workforce means there are more hands available to fill jobs. At the same time, immigrants don't just work, they also spend money, which expand demand for goods and services. This combination of a larger workforce and higher consumer demand creates a powerful boost for the economy. As a result, new jobs are often created across different sectors to meet this increased demand. So, rather than causing job losses, immigration can actually stimulate job creation by balancing the labor market impact through the roles immigrants play as both workers and consumers. When we look at the impact of immigration on wages for native low-skilled workers, the research consistently shows that any long-term wage depression is minimal or even non-existent. While there may be some small negative effects initially, these tend to be short-lived and don't last over time. One important factor is that immigration often leads to increased economic activity and more job opportunities, which helps offset any potential negative impacts on wages. So, overall, the evidence suggests that immigration does not harm the wages of native low-skilled workers in the long run. When we look at the effects of immigration, it's important to recognize that the impact isn't the same across the board. One key factor is skill level. Immigration affects workers differently depending on whether they have high or low skills. Additionally, the effects on low-skilled sectors aren't uniform. They can change quite a bit depending on the region. This means that what might be true in one area or industry may not hold true in another. All of this shows just how complex immigration's role is in the labor market, with many moving parts influencing the overall outcome. When we look at the economic benefits of immigration, one of the key points is job creation. Immigrants don't just fill existing roles. They often create new opportunities, helping to stimulate economic growth. Another crucial aspect is innovation. Immigrants bring fresh ideas and diverse perspectives that drive technological advances and creative solutions, which are vital for a thriving economy. Enhanced productivity is also significant. By complementing the skills of the native workforce, immigrants help improve efficiency and output across various sectors. Lastly, Their impact extends beyond just jobs and productivity. They often become entrepreneurs, starting new businesses that not only create jobs but also expand markets. This entrepreneurial spirit supports broader economic development and benefits the economy as a whole. When we talk about immigration policies, it's crucial to avoid extremes. On one side, we need to recognize the economic benefits that immigration brings. But on the other, we must ensure that the rights and protections of workers are not compromised. Striking this balance is key to effective policy. Next, thoughtful regulation plays a big role in maintaining stability in the labor market. Well crafted policies can promote steady economic growth while ensuring fair treatment for all workers, which benefits both employers and employees. Finally, the ultimate goal of immigration policy should be to create positive outcomes for everyone involved. That means designing approaches that support both immigrants and native workers, helping them thrive together in the workforce. This balanced perspective is essential for long term success. A common myth is that immigrants steal jobs or cause wages to drop significantly. However, when we look closely at the data, this simply isn't true. Research shows that immigration doesn't lead to widespread job losses or major wage declines. Instead, the real impact of immigration tends to be moderate and varies depending on the specific context, like the local economy or the industries involved. So, the big takeaway is that immigration effects are more nuanced and less dramatic than many people believe based on thorough and evidence based studies. When we look at the effects of immigration on wages, it's clear that the reality is complex and nuanced. The impact isn't the same for everyone. It varies across different groups and can change over time. It's not a simple story of just harm or just benefit. To truly grasp this topic, we need a balanced understanding that goes beyond common myths. This means recognizing both the challenges immigration can bring, as well as the positive contributions it makes, all within a broader economic context. Only with this balanced perspective can we have a more accurate and fair conversation about immigration and wages.